Pain's not what you think it is. So what is it? Hello, I'm Rodger Duckworth, and for the last 30 years, I've helped people, often at the edge of despair and giving up hope, not only manage but overcome their persistent pain, their chronic illness, and their complex health issues. Pain. Usually people think that pain equates to damage. I must have a tissue that's damaged in order for me to feel pain. And when I feel a pain signal, it means that something is broken, injured. Well, we know that that's not the case. It doesn't mean that if you cut your finger, that the pain that you get is not real, or that it's not attributed to that. Of course it is. But we can also have pain that is generated not by hitting yourself with a hammer, cutting yourself, spraining your ankle, putting your back out. All of these narratives. Pain is much more rich and complex than that. It's unfortunate that sometimes people come in and they go, nah, I don't buy it. Something must be broken. Well, it's because we like to simplify things and we like to just pin the tail on the donkey and say, that's lovely, go and chop it out and everything will be fine. Well, if you've worked in the field of medicine for, 30, 40 years, then you very quickly realize that I wish it was that simple. And so do most surgeons, because then they would never have people that fail surgery. And we would all just know exactly what we need to do to fix everybody. But we don't. What is pain? It's an experience. It is a sensory experience, and it is an emotional experience. It is one which we have a relationship with, and it's usually a felt experience in our body. But there can be many types of pain. There can be emotional pain, heartache, really tight chest, and it hurts, and it makes you want to cry. Yes? A sense of being stabbed in the back, being let down. These are emotional sensations, and they are physical things. They're not just a thought process. Yeah? Sick to my stomach. You will get cramping. You will get pain. You will get these physical experiences, which will be of a quality that we would package up as pain, as opposed to pleasant and warm or, comforting. Usually pain-type sensations feel constricting. And more pleasant experiences feel expansive. That's one category that we could create for it. I came up with an acronym around pain. Pay attention, I need. I think pain is communication. It is trying to communicate something, but it's, okay, you've cut yourself, take care, don't touch that hot thing, you'll injure yourself. Yes, that's communication. But it's also a communication around other experiences that we might have. That person has hurt me. And so that behavior is hurtful. I need you to listen to that, and I need you to feel the hurt and perhaps the anger and use that as a communication with the other person to enforce a boundary so that you don't have that hurt come in again. And so I hope you can see the differentiations that I'm creating. Now, we also know that based on past experience, our body will respond differently to pain. Perhaps if we've had other injuries in the past which have not resolved well, or even if our parents had back problems which were not managed well, caused them great suffering throughout their life, this will change how our body processes it, because oh my goodness me, I remember that completely changed my father's life, and so I've now got this pain in my back. And the fear avoidance behavior, and the fear will cause excessive bracing, protection and armoring around that. And it will heighten the danger signals in our brain, which will change the processing of the incoming signals to amplify them. In the simplistic terms, we would go, the degree of injury in the structure, in the tissue, in the biology must directly equate to the amount of pain. Absolute nonsense. We know that that's not true. There are so many things which distort it, amplify it, change it on the way up. So pain is a very rich experience and does not correlate directly with the degree of damage to a structure. So let's take fibromyalgia, for example. That's a condition where people experience widespread pain across almost all of their body, potentially, but in the absence of any physical, mechanical, traumatic event. So where is the pain coming from? Well, that's a very good question, but it certainly demonstrates that pain cannot be wholly attributed to mechanical injury. I can hear other people and other patients in my past kind of go, yes, but I don't have fibromyalgia and therefore my pain is entirely mechanical. Well, I think it's about my pie chart idea, because it might be, of course, it's going to be much more about hitting your hand with a hammer if you hit that. But there is always a psychological element. There is always a neuroendocrine and neuroinflammatory component. The nervous system will process pain differently in different people and different times in your life. We know that if you're more depressed or if there's seasonal affective disorders, different times of the year, that may mean that your body will process precisely the same mechanical pain differently than it will do when you're in a different point in your life. In the same person, not just between people. We are aware of that now. The inflammatory system, the nervous system and the inflammatory system are so entwined that what we're understanding more is the inflammation is part of the pain process. And that doesn't just mean swelling, it just means an irritation, it just means an aggravation of and an amplification of signaling, which distorts how that signal is interpreted and what might then amplify one sensational quality coming from the body and distort it into what will be experienced as what we might call pain. So pain is definitely not a direct linear experience with physical injury.